What's up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN, and I am joined by the man of the weekend in a lot of respects, UFC lightweight Beneil Dariush, who I gotta admit, Beneil, I thought we were going to be doing this interview with you sitting in a Tesla, just hanging out in the front seat with your phone, man. What were you not sitting in the thing right now?
If you want, I can pick the phone up and I go sit in the car if it makes you feel better. It's uh it's an option. I didn't want to rub it in.
How did you know you were going to call out Elon Musk if you beat Tony Ferguson, or is that spur of the moment thing on
It
Saturday?
was it was kind of so the week before the fight, right before I was about to leave, some guys asked me about like, hey, when's your Tesla coming? And I was like, man, I don't know. Like we called them and to check, and they said June, but they had told us prior to that May, and then prior to that they had told us March. So I was like, I honestly don't know. And somebody was, and I said jokingly, I'll just call Elon out after my fight. And they're like, oh yeah, great idea. And then we just laughed about it, and it was just a joke. And then as I got closer to the fight, I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna call him out. Why not? It's been frustrating me. I've waited over 6 months.
Yeah, yeah. And not only was it a call out, it was a pretty good call out, man. I mean, forget you're not known for call outs, but you have had two good ones after your last two fights. You called out, and I know you kind of took it back afterwards, but you called out the matchmakers and said, "Hey, can I get a top five guy?" And you got a top five guy. And now you called out Elon Musk, "Can I get a Tesla?" And now you had one
Yeah,
delivered to you within 2 days. So you call for whatever you want after these fights.
right. Yeah, that's true. Here's the thing too, though. I wasn't calling out the matchmakers. I
Yeah,
worded it incorrectly. I genuinely was calling out the fighters because Sean was sending me contracts. He
yeah.
was sending me contracts, and I kept signing them, and then they kept falling through. And it was frustrating the hell out of me. But like you said, these call outs seem to be working. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the next fight.
For real.
But before that, I got to figure out my next fight.
Let's wrap up the Tesla thing real quick. So your manager Ali posted a photo of you chilling very casually with the fanny pack and the Birkenstocks, I will add, next to the Tesla. What happened? We saw Elon Musk tweet about it. Have you actually heard from the guy, or like how did this happen? Where you have a Tesla in your garage?
Okay, so like I did the call out Saturday, not thinking much of it. We laughed about it in the post fight press conference, and I wake up Sunday morning, and I have all these messages and calls from these people that say they're with Tesla, and they're different ones, and they keep saying different dealerships, and they're all near my house.
Huh.
So I'm like, I think I'm getting scammed. Someone's trying to like scam me, right? So I don't overthink it. I just ignore it. And then I hear about Elon has replied to my call out, and he said something like I think it was very sorry, coming soon, or something like that, something along those lines. So I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
these people might be real.
yeah.
So we call them back, and they're like, yeah, just come in, and we'll get it all fixed up. I was like, that's it, just come in. I've been calling you guys for months. It was never that simple. And so we went into the dealer at Buena Park, and they basically made like they checked everything was good to go. All that's left to do is for the car to come, and they said, we still don't know the timeline, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you a car until your car gets here. So right now, I'm uh I'm just driving a loaner until my car gets here.
Yeah, I mean, you want answers from Tesla. All you got to do is beat a former interim champion in the UFC and call him out on pay-per-view on live television. That's it. Anyone who
That's
has trouble out
that
there with Tesla.
easy peasy. You just got to go out there and risk your life. No big deal.
Have you felt a lot of like post-fight attention in a different way than you have? Like you mentioned in the Octagon, that was your 20th UFC fight. Has like the reaction to this one been significantly greater?
I got to be honest, it has. Um, I'm I'm getting overwhelmed with from people messaging me, like my friends, loved ones, and acquaintances, to media, to I'm being asked to speak at a lot of churches, and since I called out Karl Marx, I'm actually being asked to speak by a lot of conservative outlets too. So it's
Wow.
it's definitely different. I've never been in this spot before, and I'm really hoping by God's grace I'm gonna make the right choices and take the right steps.
Do you want all this stuff, this extra stuff that goes along with the fighting?
Honestly, no. I'll be honest with you. I do not. But I also know um when God gives you responsibility, don't run away from it. So if it's something I have to do, I'll get it done, and I'll do it with a cheerful heart. But in reality, all I want is to just have my daughter and hold her and just be a good dad.
How was it dealing during fight week? Because I will say that after you had that press conference with Tony, we were just like talking with other journalists and other people around the like we're all just kind of hanging out and we're talking about what's going on during fight week. And I remember some people mentioning, myself included, so like, oh, maybe Beneil wasn't ready for that. Like maybe he wasn't like maybe like being in that press conference setting for the first time and then hearing the boos and then Tony's like coming at you, with personal insults and things like that. Like how was it dealing with all the like the media and then that extra attention and that kind of stuff, like before you're getting ready to compete?
I got fired up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was he got under my skin. I got pissed. Like immediately after after the press conference, I was pissed. Like my wife could see it, and like my teammates could see it, and I wasn't really hiding it either. But fortunately, one thing this is something I've been practicing for years, is putting myself in other people's shoes. And I put myself in Tony's shoes. I even put myself in his corner shoes and all that. And it really helped me to calm down. And once I calm down, I'm able to make better decisions. I'm not too rash. And by the time the fight came, I was back to where I was before. I was everything was smooth sailing.
Can you talk real quickly just about that walkout? That walkout that you had, I mean, you even remember it? That was like an out of body experience that you had during that walkout. I've seen a lot of guys walk to the octagon. I think I'll remember that one. That one was very memorable. What was that like walkout like?
I I don't know how to explain my walkouts, because I it's like I'm the most vulnerable I've ever been in that walkout. If you were to come speak to me, there's a good possibility I'll just break down and start crying, because you have the entire stress of the camp, of the fight week, of everything. For me, it accumulates in that walkout, and all of that. As I'm walking out, I raise my hands and say, Lord, just take it all from me. This is all yours. And with every step I take, I just get stronger and get stronger and get stronger. And I just feel a different spirit upon me. And when I walk into that octagon, I'm a new man. And I'm telling you, if it's everything, every time I go in there, it's like that, no one will stop me.
When you were in there with Tony, and look, I know you respect Tony, and I think all of us, we don't know who his next opponent is going to be, but we all wouldn't mind seeing Tony get a win. He's a character, but he's likable. I don't want to put you in a position where you feel like you're saying anything poorly about him. But I also want to ask you, did he feel dangerous when you were in there relative to some other guys you fought? Was he dangerous in there?
Relative to the guys I fought recently, I would say not too much. I felt the only time I felt danger was like, oh man, maybe he's gonna cut me with these elbows, when he was doing the elbows off of his back. But that was only for maybe a minute in the fight,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the only danger I felt. With the stand up, I I didn't feel too much from him. I don't remember getting hit from him stand up, so I couldn't tell what his powers was like, and it was too. The entrance for the takedown was too easily set up, and so I never felt in danger. And I know he had that Doris, but it wasn't a choking Doris. It was like a holding position. He was just holding me. And same thing in the third round. Like we were stuck in north south, and he wouldn't let me go. And I'm just like, what are you doing, man? You're losing the fight. Like, let me go. Let move forward. look to grab a leg, to come up for a single, look to go to side control, go back, get back to closer, do something. But he just held on. So I I never really felt any danger after the first round, and I know after the first round his arms were they were pumping. He was tired.
Hmm. And then obviously, a lot of attention is given to what happened in the second round with the heel hook. And so, you being, I mean, you've been in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for, well before you were even in mixed martial arts. What is like sort of the unspoken code? Like when you got somebody in that and like when you felt like you had it, can you just kind of walk me through like how you got it and then sort of what's going through your mind when you're holding on to that, knowing that it can cause serious injury?
I literally couldn't verbalize it until maybe today. And I've been thinking about it. Like, how do I explain this? So when I got the heel hook, I started to crank, and when I was cranking, there's resistance because of the ligament. It doesn't allow you to twist, right? And I was, I was going. I was like, he's gonna tap, and I was going, and then it went. I heard a pop, and it just I didn't feel any more resistance. And I looked at him and he had like a pain face, but he right away changed his pain face and he started dropping kicks down on me. And I said, okay, well, let me go back to it. This time I went back to it. There was no resistance. It just did this. It was just like flimsy. And I just thought to myself, he's not feeling anything right now in his knee. I think something tore. I'm pretty sure something tore. And I just said, I'm wasting my time here. I have the ability to come on top. I'm going to come on top before I let him get on top, because if he gets on top, there's I could be in danger. He is very dangerous with his elbows, and from top position, it's a great place to throw elbows.
Man, that is a super interesting perspective of it because when you talked about it on fight night, you said that it popped and you tried it again. And you actually, I think on fight night, you said it may have popped again. But then you were like, all right, fine, I'll lean into you. And like, me not knowing the jiu-jitsu world, obviously as much as you did, I was thinking, why didn't you just kind of sit there and stay on it? But what you were saying is at that point, it was,
it was like
a benefit to you to keep.
So the heel hook works the best when you pop your hips into it. And like the second time I popped my hips into it, my hips just went through his knee. It just, and nothing. And I just said, this I can sit here and obviously I'll win the round if I just hold this position, but what's the point? Maybe I'll damage his knee a little bit more, but I'm not gonna win the fight here. Let's just get back up and see if I can find another submission. And I could never find a submission on him because he was so good at I got to give him credit. He is strong and he can hold on. Like he grabs something, he can hold on for an unnaturally long time. It's that's something. Maybe those 1,000 shrugs, like they did the trick, but he really was strong.
You said something else on fight night that I wanted to ask you about when you were talking about that sequence when you tore his knee, or got him you heard it pop. You said, I hope that someday if I'm in that position, I can do the same thing. And I wanted to ask you, like, you do, but or in your mind, is it like, okay, you got me, I'm going to tap so that I don't have ligament damage in my knee? How will you, what is it in your mind looking forward? If you were ever in that position, how would you approach it? And what do you think would happen in the moment?
I have to win in that octagon. I have to win. I have to provide for my family. I have to make sure I don't squander the gifts God gave me. I have to win. So I hope I can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. One last thing that I bring you up on Tony is that, and I think maybe some people watching this would be like, Brad, we don't care about your opinion. Who are you to say this? And they're right. I have no stance to suggest this, but as I look at Tony and the troubles that he's been through, wouldn't it make sense for him to go to King's MMA? Wouldn't it make sense for him to give you a call, or you give him a call, and maybe you guys train together a little bit? Wouldn't that be good for Tony Ferguson? Or where do you kind of see Tony Ferguson going from here?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think we could not just help him with the fighting aspect. I think we could be a family for him, like a real family. Like I see people come and go, but like, and I think it has to do with the fact that nobody gets to tell him what to do. If someone, speaks out of turn, they're gone kind of deal. But like, if he was to who's willing to humble himself and to walk into the gym and be a teammate and be just another guy, just like I am, just like Marvin is, just like Giga is, just like everybody else is. I think it would be really beneficial to him. And but like I can't make him do that. That's Tony. Tony has to do that. And I said to him, like, Tony, Lord bless you after the fight. And I continue to say it. I want the best for Tony.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Have you got a chance to watch that Charles Oliveira Michael Chandler fight?
I did watch that fight, and I gotta say, man, it was a good fight. It really was. It was back and forth, and the little things in that fight just made the difference.
What little things are you referring to?
So in the first round, Charles didn't have the timing of Chandler down yet. Chandler's super fast. You can see his speed he has incredible speed. He closes the distance really well, and he has a lot of power. So he's difficult to deal with, and he was able to hurt Charles because of that. But you have to understand something too. When he closes the distance in, his hands are not as high as they should be. When he throws his left hand, when he comes in with his left hand, he throws a left hook. You can see his right hand isn't stuck to his head here. It's actually right down here. And maybe it allows him to be faster, but it's a double-edged sword because it also allows you to get countered. And that's what happened in the second round. And I think Charles kind of found the timing. And when Chandler stepped in with that same speed, Charles said, I know this speed. I already felt it in the first round. Here's my counter. And the first counter that he threw landed perfectly. And that was the fight.
There is a history between you and Charles that I think some people are unaware of. What is the history between you and Charles Oliveira?
That's what I'm talking about. Somebody finally talks about it. Listen, we were supposed to fight. He says he has personal problems. I believe he said family problems. I said, okay, I understand. Family for me, family comes first. Go take care of your family. I'll wait. But while he said this, he started calling Tony out. And our fight was scratched. And a few months later, he got scheduled to fight Tony. He fights Tony. He beats Tony, number one contender, ends up fighting for the belt. And now he's champion. Listen, I get it. It made more sense. He's the champion now. I'm not knocking him for it. But listen, Charles, young man, you owe me a fight. Let's do this.
Yeah. And the reason I know about it is because your manager, Ali, and you know this, when he's passionate about something, he hounds you about it. And I just remember him almost basically venting his frustration that Charles had canceled the fight on you, but then wouldn't take the fight with you again. And then you guys were even talking about fighting in December when he fought Tony Ferguson, correct?
Because I took the fight short notice to fight him. I had just fought Scott. I came off the win from Scott. And on that Sunday, Sean Shelby messages me. He's like, hey, there's an opportunity for you to fight Charles. I said, okay, I guess I'm fighting Charles. No, I mean, I've been wanting this for a while. And, it fell through. So, I trained for 2-3 weeks. I was supposed to be on vacation. I was supposed to be spending that time with my wife. I was supposed to be like just enjoying myself. But instead I jumped into a really hard camp. I was studying him. I was sparring right away, right after a fight. Like the last thing you want to do is spar is right after a fight. But I was back in sparring. I was doing everything I was supposed to do because I really wanted that opportunity. And it wasn't there. He took off and he never rescheduled it with me. So I really think he owes me a fight.
So to sort of wrap up this interview, what do you think happens? You've been around the sport a long time. You understand not only sort of the competitiveness of it, sort of how the hierarchy works in terms of what the matchmaking looks like. You've got Conor and Dustin fighting on July 10th, right? That seems to be like the first domino, correct? So how do you see the lightweight division playing out the rest of the year?
So I think that's that's a great way to put it. That's the first domino. We have to see how that fight plays out. And, I think the winner of that fight would theoretically get the title shot.
Which is who?
In my opinion, Dustin. I think the time in the octagon makes a big difference. I think Conor needs to recognize he hasn't poured in that blood that's required. that you can only, you can pour in the octagon. Like it's just, time in the octagon is different. I don't care how much you train, whatever. Dustin has stepped in there over and over again. And he's fought 5 rounds multiple times. So I think Dustin just has an advantage there. I think he's gonna be the bigger dog in the fight.
Okay, so Dustin wins. He fights Charles Oliveira, and then
Well,
what happens after that?
That's the thing, though. Here's the tricky part. These guys are not so easy when it comes to contracts. Conor or Dustin, whichever guy wins. Let's say I'm wrong about my pick. Let's say Dustin doesn't win. These guys are not that easy when it comes to making contracts. You know who is easy for making contracts? This guy right here. All I want to do is fight. I just want to do. All I want to do is fight. I want to fight the best people in the world. I want to get paid fairly. I'm not too worried about the numbers, or the history or whatever it is they're trying to do. I just want to take my talents and use them the best that I can.
Okay, so are you saying that
I might be first?
suggesting that
I might be. And we're gonna see because it all depends on how they negotiate. But I really think they're gonna start, talking, and things are gonna fizzle out, and they're gonna say, okay, well, while we figure this out, why don't we give Charles a fight, and I'll be waiting.
Well, life is good for Beneil Dariush, man. You got a daughter on the way, a Tesla in the garage, and maybe a title fight by the end of the year. We'll see. But
and we're already back to training. We're gonna get back to training today, so it's exciting.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time on your busy schedule to recap it with me, and looking forward to seeing what's next, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, brother. I'll send you some Tesla pictures.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.